Okay, here's one that we've talked about a little bit, and I don't know if I want to go super deep into it because I sort of don't feel fully qualified. But Tony asks, how do you deal with mental health, like when you're solo and you still got the work to do? Again, we're not mental health experts, and I don't know this person's particular situation. But it's funny, I was hanging with Tizio over the weekend at his spot, and we were talking about health and some other things. And I think the most underrated thing for people that mostly sit in a chair is physical health. I think people don't. Kian said drinking. I love you, Kian. I was also at Kian's place this weekend. We did do some drinking. By the way, also important if you're with friends to socialize and that sort of thing. But being outside and getting some exercise. I'm not saying that that's the solution to all mental health, but I think most people I know that are record makers, young and old and whatever, we're sitting in front of a computer all day or like this, like taking breaks to get out and do physical things, doing things like you and I talk about with kettlebell things, deadlift stuff, sprinting, that sort of stuff, where it basically gets the physicality of your whole body and gets your back to be stronger so you're not just hunching forward. It's surprising how much that makes your brain feel better and how much longer you can be focused and how much better you feel when sitting in a chair all the time, because sitting in a chair is just not good for your health. So in terms of mental health, my first instinct is to tell everyone to do more physical health stuff. Any immediate thoughts on mental health when you're not feeling well? How do you get work done?
Yeah, I'm not feeling very well. And I'm still getting work done. So I should probably be able to figure out how to talk about it. Played tennis yesterday before going hard on work all day.
Which is physical activity and with friends.
Yep. Exactly. I take it back to the responsibility, right? So you've already agreed to do this, and if you don't do it, people are going to move on from you. So I kind of have this blue collar brute force kind of methodology to my work, and I just get through it. I can usually put my personal stuff aside for a record. That's the whole point. That's what records have done for me since day one anyway, right? As a fan of listening in the creative process. Someone referred to it as a distraction. I mean, that's probably the technical term for what it's doing, but I wouldn't want to use it as that. I would put the energy into it from that. Like, maybe choose to work on a ballad. No matter what the lyric is, you might relate to the lyric more depending on a certain circumstance you're in. But maybe the feeling of a record fits that not wellness or lowness that you're feeling, and maybe you lean into it more. In those times, it's kind of what I'm doing. I'm kind of in super ballad mode right now. I'm getting hired to mix a lot of, maybe it's just the winter and people are, in a sad state and reflective on the years past. But a lot of the stuff I'm working on is pretty depressing lyrically from both men and women. It tends to be like sad girl pop music these days, but I just got a sad boy pop song in today and mixing it this morning, and it's really nice.
Yeah, look, I think, for general mental health stuff, there's lots of better resources than us. But in terms of how to translate that into music, I think it's what you said, which is, and this applies to a lot of things, is just sit down and do some things. Just sit down and get some things done, putting in the time. I mean, this is a lot of the ways people think about greatness or genius or whatever, that, inspiration strikes and then you write the amazing song or whatever. But the reality is, the inspiration is going to come when you put yourself in the position to do things. And if you're not feeling well, but you can still either make it outside, make it to the gym, make it in front of the console and make that in front of the computer and start doing things, like that's more important than anything else. Just being consistent with showing up will get you much further than the perfect remedy, and somebody said diet as well. That's very important. I mean, taking care of your body outside of what you're doing musically, but then just showing up and making things happen. Even if it's not your best work, it's better than no work. And then when you start feeling a little bit better, you'll already be in your workflow and you'll start doing good work more quickly. I think a big part of it, what do they say, 90% of it is just showing up. I think it's really true.
Thanks for watching. Just a reminder, all of this content is free. There's no secret knowledge here. We don't have sponsors. We don't run ads. We don't have a Patreon. All that we ask in return is that you share it with somebody. Thanks.